on. So good morning, everybody. Where's my phone? What's the date? What day? I think it's a Thursday. I just remember interest rates yesterday, BOE today, so it must be a Thursday. So it is Thursday, March 22nd. No kidding. Whoa. That's like 2/3 of the way through. Three-fourths of the way through. Thursday, March 22nd, 2018. This is your daily Forex trading strategy session, hosted here live at Forex.Today. If you're watching this on YouTube, we actually did it live an hour ago. It's live now for us, but if you're on YouTube watching it live, it's live. It's a live replay, but we're live now. You're watching future. So anyways, if you want to ask questions and get involved and all that kind of stuff, visit Forex.Today at 7:30 in the morning, New York time. So anyways, let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Did I say that too fast? Welcome to Forex.Today. Let me remind you that the purpose of this presentation is education. This is not alert service. I'm not here to make trade recommendations. I will conduct technical and fundamental analysis, and I'll teach you step by step, candle by candle, with the overriding goal of helping you put together trade plans throughout this beautiful New York trading session. If you're trading along with me using a demo account, then regardless of whether your plans are successful or not, you will have an opportunity to learn. Trading and investing is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Past performance does not predict future results. Stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. What? Yeah. Well, so anyways, yes, past performance is not indicative of future results. Trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Yeah. So hi, my name is Wayne McDonell. I am the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. We are a boutique foreign exchange trading brokerage firm, and we would like to earn your loyalty and respect and be the prime broker for your successful Forex trading business. I am here Monday through Friday, 7:30 in the morning, New York time, and I've been charged with the duty of helping you become a successful Forex trader sooner than later. We want you to first survive, and then in the future, right, thrive. So I will teach you technical and fundamental analysis. We can cover more complex topics, macroeconomics, trader psychology, all this kind of stuff. I'm here to help. I'm happy to help. You are the boss. I am a humble currency analyst or experienced warrior or whatever you want to call me. However, I'm not going to tell you what to do. But I will teach you how to use technical and fundamental analysis to put together trade plans, which allows you to make decisions for yourself because you need to be independent. I want you to be independent. The world needs you to be independent. Make your own decisions. So anyways, please show your loyalty and respect by visiting TradersWay.com and at least open up a demo account, test our execution speed or customer service, check out our back office, download our MT4, all that kind of stuff, huh? Huh? Okay, let me fire up my screen. Something about the way you move. Yeah, I'm tired, man. I got a normal amount of sleep in a long time, and I woke up even more tired. You ever wake up tired enough where you're like, I think I'm sick? I might be sick. I think I'm sick. I kind of want to throw up. No, maybe not. Yeah, I probably could though. You ever have one of those mornings? Yeah. Every Tuesday. Yeah. Yeah, I might be pregnant. That's true. Only a little bit though, Guy. Sleeping too much, maybe. Whatever. All right. Well, enough of my problems. Let's move on.com. Here's the charts. So the Fed raised interest rates. Dot plots expect an extra rate somewhere in there. Powell's a happy camper. Great, great, great. China follows up by raising interest rates as well. Great, great, great. Trump follows up by announcing 50, or I think he's officially announcing it at noon, 50 billion in trade sanctions against China specifically. Okay, great, great, great. Yeah, wow, that's a lot. Bank of England is going to announce that they're not going to do anything. When is that? When is the Bank of England going to do nothing? What time is that? Is that about now? Is that in 15 minutes they're going to do nothing? Sweet. They should say, that's not fair. 20% of the time we do a lot of things. Right? Yeah. Your boss comes to you, you're in your cube, you're just like sleeping, you got like a drool. They're like, Piper, what are you doing? I'm risk averse. I'm being prudent, you know. So anyways, let's go. Let's do some technicals. We got that news event coming out on the pig. Lots and lots of fundamentals this week. Just amazing. Yeah, man, that's coming up like very soon, like in minutes, right? Not hours. All right, just kind of looking at where we are, analysis that we've done in the past. I don't remember where we were when I drew this. It looks like the target is down and then maybe back up. Well, that's pretty interesting, huh? Down, 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 up, up, into the weekly central pivot point, and then it held firm. And I have a little line here. No, I don't. That's actually pivot too. Well, you can see somebody's playing this area here, right, as resistance. Maybe I should just draw it. Just draw it, Wayne. Come on, Wayne. Just draw it. Draw it, Wayne. Wayne, draw it. So I'm thinking like maybe just this area in general is sort of acting as resistance. So a bear is going for this, right? Remember, this is the target we created a day or two ago based on this top. So that's still technically in play. What? Something about the way you move, you want me to stay. All right. What do we do here? Which is the way that's clear. Why do I have a red line down here? Did we identify that as a support area to buy? Is that what that orange line is? Is that what that 382 is? Sorry, 50%. Gee whiz, huh? You know what I find fascinating? I do feel at times there's a gamification to these markets. I'd find it hard to believe, let's say 100 years ago, gold trading was this precise, right? 1307.85. You're like, yeah, that's where I want to buy it. And then you know, I think maybe you'd buy it at 1300 or even 1250 or 12 or 1000. Like, you know, if you'd never looked at a chart and never really analyzed fundamentals, you just kind of bought. Maybe you just bought when you showed up and you took the spot price. But I think that's really interesting, isn't it? How you go like this, and the stupid thing holds. The global price for gold right? Comes down to a little doodad like that. I think it's pretty fascinating. So a bear is going to treat this as a top, and a bull is going to want to buy a dip. I think it's a difficult one to call because it's not trending up or down right now, even though there's more of a propensity for up on this. There's no reason why it can't come 100% all the way back around. You understand? I mean, it may go up, but I think it's the next. I mean, it's even dangerous because of this still. Okay, but I can see why a bear would sell here or a bull would take profit, right? Even next week, this is going to be a problem because of the top, right? Down to 13. Well, see, I would argue that we already did that. Okay, Kareem? That's what you're saying, down to 13, and I'm like, well, it was at 1309, and 3 weeks ago it was 1307, and a month ago it was 1307. So I'm kind of arguing, Kareem, that we've already done that move. Right? And that this would end up being a J low. Okay. And that's why I drew this. I don't know when I drew it, days ago, yesterday, 2 days ago. I don't even remember, to be honest with you. I remember doing it because the general hypothesis was this move that I've drawn. Right? But what happens is people forget to use longer term charts. They forget to use the 4 hour or the daily, and they don't see a simple move like that, right? Would you guys say that this is a relatively simple setup using technical analysis? Right? And yet, vast majority of people don't see it at all, right? Remember, strategy comes first, then tactics. Strategic and tactical Forex trading. Strategy is higher time frames, or strategy is fundamentals, or strategy is both long-term technicals and fundamentals. Yeah, that was our target, Greg, right? I said, it was funny, I said somewhere between 1,100 and 1,000. And my argument was, as we get closer to 1,000, whoever wants to keep it above 1,000 will defend it. Funny thing is, it went down and hit 1050 and then went up. And I said somewhere between 11 and 1,000. And it was exactly between 1,100 and 1,000. But yeah, at that time we were ultra short gold. And the reason for that is, how you say in English, the dollar was strong. The world was in a risk off mode. People were yield hogs. Okay. And at that point, people wanted a bond, ideally a treasury that paid anything, versus gold that costs you money, right? If you simply hold gold like Kareem, Kareem loses money every day because you have to pay someone to guard the bunker. And the bunker has rent, right? And even if you own your own bunker, remember the way it goes down in the books as far as GDP, let's say, is that it ends up looking like, even though you own it, it is producing a service to you, in this case storage service, and it's producing a GDP. So the central bank would look at that and say, well, okay, Kareem owns this bunker, but if he was renting this bunker, it would cost, $10,000 a month just for the rent. So we're going to add that as $10,000 a month to GDP, or $120,000 per year to GDP, because it is being productive even if he owns it. So isn't it funny, like, we've been trading for so long, even like little jokes don't make sense anymore, right? Like, this might be a J-Lo. People are like, what's a J-Lo? And I'm like, a big wide bottom. And they're like, I don't get it. I'm like, yeah, like Jennifer Lopez? And they're like, who's Jennifer Lopez? You're like, like, wow, I've been trading currencies a long time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Zeal, right? Even Taylor Swift sold. They're like, that crazy cuckoo head. So I don't know. Oil still going up. Still going up. We have a target of 68. That's straight up out of the swing trading course, isn't it? Right? Everybody see that? That's straight up out of the swing trading course. Bum, 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 bum. So I hope you're starting to appreciate the medium term in your trading, right? Because now, like 3 weeks ago, this would have been your trade plan. 2 weeks ago, this would have been your trade plan. And now this week you're getting paid. And you're like, oh, good. Yeah, good. Maybe next week you'll take profit, right? So that should be good for the CAD, wouldn't you think? Oh, there's our trade. Look at that. And where did it stop? What's that funny gray line? That's a pivot. Now the interesting thing is, I think, this move I would have interpreted as starting at the same pivot that we're at now. And this, based on this old move, this was the target. How many people would agree with this statement, where you would assume whoever was still buying in here, their target was here, their conservative target, not the aggressive target, like the for sure target? How many people would indicate that you would think that like a week in advance, right? Like that's what you're thinking, like, well, whoever's long here, that's going to be their target. Pete says it's also the yearly central. How interesting. Oh no, that's coming down here, right? All right, so anyways, and then here's the full tilt, right? We know they did take profit, as you can see. And that's pretty interesting, but I love how it stops on our line, huh? Right? So would you say, based on, I mean, look, this one went 1 pip down. It went 1 pip too far. This one we were basically one pip short. Do you still believe the monthly pivot points played an important part in the price action? Cream shorted at 131. Sweet. Cream, are you joining the fund? Seems like your trading's on fire. Cool. Is everybody making progress opening up their live trading accounts at TradersWay? I think there's about 10 or 12 people actively doing that right now. Everything good on that? Something about the way you move. Peso we don't need to do. You know, Barry, I used to, and I don't now. The reason for it is in the United States, everything is taxed differently. So Forex is taxed one way. Commodities are taxed a different way, right? There's a different tax treatment for stocks. There's a different tax treatment for futures. So like if I trade oil versus oil futures, for example, they're treated and taxed differently. And so one year when I was really, you know, I just loved this idea of trading everything. And then it took my accountant like 8 or 9 months to do my taxes, my tax attorney and the accountant. And I'm not joking, it was like over 100 pages thick was my tax return, right? I'm like, holy crap, what is that? I'm like, yeah, by the way, you have to pay us a lot of money. And it was just ridiculous, right? So, and I said, well, why is it so ridiculous? And he's like, oh, well, this is treated one way, this is treated another way, this is treated another way. So he's like, basically, I'm submitting 7 different tax returns with 7 different rules. You know what I mean? So I'm like, Forex only. Because like this, do you remember one of the big parts of this CAD move? Remember I bought the CAD after it was weak for this long period of time, right? Right, remember? The CAD is weak. So I bought it right here, if you remember. Why did I do that? Oil. So that's the whole thing where I'm like, I think oil's going to go up. But I can just buy the Canadian dollar. It's not going to be a 1-for-1 correlation, but it's going to be pretty close. But it keeps my cost of doing business low. Okay, Kareem, maybe stick around at the end, and we can talk about it. Yeah, Peter. All right. So what? Let's take a look at pig. You know what? I'm just going to change the template on these. Something about the way you move. Yeah, I think I'm just going to move to Singapore. Yeah, that's probably not a problem, right? I heard it gets very hot though, Daniel. Look at the Kiwi getting crushed. Can you see it? Can you see it? Check this out. On the first day of the month, a bull would be thinking this, right? That's crazy, right? Crazy awesome. But it's true, isn't it? That's the straight out of the swing trading course. Take a look at pound dollar. The swing is here to here, right? Again, straight out of the swing trading course. Cool. It hasn't reached it yet. Wayne, it hasn't reached it yet. It's not that good. Now this one's a bit out of position, huh? And notice what might happen. Oops, clear now. Now the swing should have been like this, right? But it started out of position relative to all the other pairs, right? So if it doesn't get above this quickly, and according to my charts, it's not supposed to do it this week. If it does break to the upside, it's not supposed to do it this week. So you run the risk of this does collapse, especially if the other yens are up here. Or the other pound pairs are way up here. Why are we only halfway, right? Pound dollar's almost all the way. Pound Kiwi has already made it. So this looks like if they all roll over, this one's going to roll over and drop the fastest. It's the bearishness, the most bearish of them all, right? I might not be a smart man, but I know what a bear is. Okay. And pound Swissy, otherwise known as Pissy. Yeah, Pissy on the first day of the month, the plan was this. Okay. And remember, the stop should have been down here. And then probably here at this point, and then above that here, and above that here, and then above that maybe here. Now we're up here. And check this out. Remember, we never know where this is going to go, but remember, I only have one or two hard and fast rules. One of them is 100% of the time, if you find yourself here at R2, you take your profit. Okay? And I used to teach that all the time. When I was running FX Bootcamp 100 years ago, I spoke at a conference in LA, whatever, Traders Expo, Los Angeles, or whatever. And I held a little trading workshop, and where we traded all night together as a team. And one of the guys there was Rob, otherwise known as Kiwi Rob, who later I hired as a coach because he was very smart, very passionate, very intellectual, and very driven toward a very specific goal of quitting his awesome high-paid job with ridiculous amounts of responsibility to simply being someone that could trade Forex at home and live with, live at home. He traveled more than probably anybody else has ever traveled ever in a lifetime. And so he just wanted to be home. He wanted to settle down, start a family, do some surfing, do some snowboarding, grow a beard. And he ended up doing all that. But anyway, so after this event, not long after that, I ended up hiring him. But my point is, while we were trading that night, we were in a scenario, I think it was actually falling, not rising, but we'll use this as an example, where we had traded like this through the London session, and we're at the R2, okay? And I said, hey, what is the hard and fast rule? And he's like, to take profit, right? I said, so what are you going to do? And he's like, well, I just think it's going to go further. I said, all right. So let's see what happens and see if we can learn from it. And sure enough, it went like this. And even then, he's like, I get it, I understand it, I see it, I'll program it into the brain. And he's like, always now. And it was great. It was just a really great learning experience. I remember, it clicked. Right? It just clicked. I don't know what the other one. I guess if you see it as support or resistance, you have to respect it. But there's not many hard and fast rules. I like to give myself an opportunity to make decisions, right? Not be rule-based. I like to make decisions. But I'll tell you, my analysis, because I remember doing this now, I don't know, so long ago, it's ridiculous, right? 15 years ago or something. I was analyzing my own trading, and the thought process was, if I hit R2, how often does it do this, or how often does it do this? And that just basically, to rearrange it algebraically, do I stay in or do I get out? And I don't know if I put this in the book. This might have been, is it in the book, guys? The Law of Averages? I don't even know, to be honest with you. I'll check the Law of Averages. But it's something I used to teach. I just haven't. It's part of like portfolio management and stuff. There's so much I want to teach you guys someday. The law of, no, I don't think it is. Yeah, I don't think it is. All right. Law of averages. Oh, but by the way, if you haven't seen it, there's my baby. My baby, baby. Anyways, I still have carpal tunnel. So I still have war stories. All right. How many pages? 270 or something, Barry? I don't know. It's a book, right? It's a real book, published by a real publisher. Right? Look at Francesc, he founder of FX Street, wrote about it. Tim Berkwin, founder of the Forex Trading Expo, wrote about it. So on and so forth. I mean, it's like a real book. Okay. Law of averages. So here's what I did in my study. I tried to decide, do I stay in this scenario or not? And I found, well, if, let's say 50-50, because we don't know. Let's say it's a toss of the coin. If I get out and it goes up 50 pips, I make 50 pips. Right? And if the other 50% of the time it falls 50 pips, then I give up 50 pips that I would have had. So my maximum outcome over the course of 100 times I hit R2, the best I could possibly do is get out. Plus, the real upside now is that I don't sit here for another 3 hours staring at the chart. I can go look for another trade. And that's where I really started thinking like, okay, first, now I'm not sweating bullets, right? And there's no stress and all that. I'm out, I've cashed out, I put, right? And then I started like, you know what? I might actually now have the freedom to like scalp or pop in a spot trade, pick up another 30 pips and all that kind of stuff, right? Greg says, is that weekly R2 or, you know, it doesn't matter. It depends on what your trade plan was. So this one is monthly R2, but that's irrelevant, okay? You see, let me change this. Like, look a couple of weeks ago here, okay? You would have taken profit on Wednesday and just been done for the whole week and not suffered this pullback. How about this one on Monday? Well, you know, you would have booked your profit, but the thing is, you didn't suffer any of this other risk later on, like FOMC and all that kind of stuff, right? So on and so forth. But the monthly swing is ridiculous, right? That's your entry and your targets up here, right? It's crazy straightforward. But, you know, in your decision tree, you set it up like this, right? Right, you have a node here, stay, and then you have another one, take profit, right? And you can start in the decision node, say, well, there's a 0.5 or 50% probability of making 50, let's say 50 bucks. There's a 0.5 probability that you lose 50 bucks, right? So to balance this out, you just take your profit. And you could change this. You could say, no, there's only a 40% chance it goes higher and 60% chance it falls. And then you start like, oh, so now you take 0.6 times 50, right? And then 0.4 plus 50, or, you know, times 50, and you start to change, right? You start to change your so like what's 0.6 of 50 and what's 0.4 of 50, right? Right, I guess I can just do it. La 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 la. Okay, 0.4 times 50 bucks. Okay, well, obviously 20. Sorry, okay. And then what is it? 0.6 times 50 negative. Okay, so here we go. You change the probabilities, right? If you stay in. Now, we're talking about long term now, right? If you face this situation 100 times, not just once, because you can get lucky once, right? But over 100 times or 1,000 times, you wash the luck out. So if you stay in at a 60-40, right? 60% of the time it holds, 40% of the time it breaks. Now you're risking $30 to make 20. Okay, you see what I mean? So the law of averages. You wouldn't risk 30 bucks to make 20, would you? If you already had it in your hand? Okay? And I think you'll find the probability is not 50-50. I'm saying it's 60-40, 70-30. I mean, it's up to you to decide how often these things hold, right? But to me, if it's just 50-50, then you're best off just taking profit, clearing the books, letting go of the stress, and maybe looking for new opportunities to make new money versus just staring at the trade, right? But when you bust it down into a decision tree and then you throw in probabilities and risk and reward, you're like, you know what? It just doesn't. Why would I risk 30 to make 20? Sonny, what I was saying is based on probability and probability of return versus probability of loss, it doesn't pay you. You're worse off. Okay? 60% of the time, you're going to lose 30 bucks. 40% of the time, you're going to make 20. So repeat that 100 times. Yes, we're talking about predicted tops. Yeah. We're in particular, we're talking about R2 and S2. Okay? And it goes from this, right? What do you do in this scenario? Okay? So what I'm telling you in real time, because this just happened in the last 15 minutes as we've been talking, I suggested you just take profit right here. Don't worry about what happens next. Just take the money and run. Check that out, guys. Look what's happened. It went up and straight down. Why? People took profit, like I just explained to you. That's where you're supposed to take profit. So why hope for more? Just take the money. Don't worry about it. Sometimes it will go further, but most of the time it won't. Most meaning more than 50% of the time. So just split the difference. Now, if you thought this was reasonably accurate 70% of the time, right? Now you're going to be risking like almost 40 bucks for the chance on the long run to make 10 bucks. At the point, like the higher you think, the more important you think this is, the more likely you should just take your profit and walk away. Okay. So you guys now are talking about what do you do now with the pound across the board? Well, that's why I'm in this scan. Let's do 15 on everything. That's why I'm on the scan setup. Okay. So what do you think? Doing nothing, is that going to save the British pound? Okay. And check this out too, guys. This is the weekly projected top. This is the monthly projected top. This is the monthly and weekly projected top. Okay. Alex is high probability sell. I don't know if that's true, Alex. It's high probability take profit. That's all I've ever said ever. But you can interpret that any way you want, right? And buying it, I don't know about that either. I mean, you're not supposed to buy it at the top, I guess is what I'm saying. So, okay. Now, I did say what, 25 minutes ago, that this was the bearishest, the bearishest of them all? One, I just didn't add them. We can do that. Need another pound pair. Pound Aussie. Okay. All right, cool. Then I go here. Then I go, and then I go pound, 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 pound. All right, there you go. So, like for example, okay. Oops. This is the predicted bottom for the month of March. Did you like that one? It's pretty easy to set that up, right? Very nice. People love me today. Everyone's like,
where's my money? Give me my money. Give me my money, Wayne. Give me my money.
I'm like, you don't do anything. All right, cool, right? Cool. So predicted bottom, predicted top, predicted top. And then the other ones you have to say, well, what's going on here? This didn't even get anywhere near. In fact, this is the central pivot, right? Didn't even go. Yen was way too strong for it. And this had a little further to go. But you can see everything else hit its target, so why would pound get any stronger, right? You understand that part too, that they are related. So if pound something has gone all the way to the top and something pound has gone all the way to the bottom, and they can't go any further because of these sort of rules of engagement, right? Because no one wants to trade the first one up any further because it's already hit the extreme target. No one wants to sell the other one further because it's already hit the extreme target. Then what is going to move the pound versus dollar a little bit higher if no one's trading the other pairs? No one is buying the pound versus those two other pairs. What's going to happen here? Well, no one, right? I mean, you're going to need someone to sell the dollar, kind of thing. Ugh. Want you to stay. Aussie what? Brooke. Peter, clients have been put on the earth to drive you crazy. right? Yeah. So Peter, it's like this, like, hey, I made 5% this month. How come you didn't make 10? Hey, I made 10% this month. How come you didn't make 20? Okay, there we go. Then you say, hey, the entire market crashed. Everybody lost half their wealth. I only lost 5%. You scumbag, scum suckers. I'm going to... Yeah, it's a tough gig, but it pays too much. All right. Aussie what? Was it Aussie dollar? Okay. I want you to stay. Aussie dollar. If I were a little girl and I traded Aussie. Okay. So let me just change the template a little bit. I see what's going on, but let's just keep it consistent. Okay. So I look at this and I'm not even sure what your question is. Yeah, but to me, it's all the same. So the target is clearly 75.80 to 75.50, right? I mean, that's right. So if you're going to 76, yeah, I mean, you're playing it ultra conservative. I'm okay with that, right? But everybody sees that, right? Oops. That this is the move. I mean, there's just there. I mean, that's all there is. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's heading down to 75.80. But maybe that's enough. Maybe that's what you just, right? So we got all next week to get down there. That means more, probably like, especially when you think of things like what did I say about the Trump barriers? And if Kudlow gets his way. Remember I talked about the Kudlow effect the day it was announced that he was coming on board at the White House? Does anybody remember? I said two things that would be a Kudlow outcome based on his publicly spoken opinions about things. Dollar strong, that was one. What was the other one? So, yeah, those are it. So, it's amazing because, it's not far off of this move, in fact, isn't it? When it was announced just over a week ago, right? But again, anyone that's taken the swing trading course at FX Bootcamp can tell you that that's the exact sell entry, and this is your exact conservative target. I mean, exact. So when I look at that, it's like, I don't really have anything to say. It's already well on its way. Now, what if it does this? Yeah, it might. I mean, it could always do anything, especially around news, right? But the pattern that's taught, the expected outcome is this. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, see, to me, I'm not thinking. I don't have an opinion there. I love the idea of a concert musician, a pianist, right? So I'm a concert pianist, and you're like, Wayne, play this. I'm like, okay. Sell at M2, or sorry, sell at M3, take profit at M1. Was that right? Look, I can do it again. Sell it at M3, take profit at M1. Wayne, do it again one more time. All right, give me the sheet music. Sell it at M3, take profit at M1. Right? It's just ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Cool. And notice on the weekly, right? So the monthly says this. This is the expected monthly outcome. The weekly said, if you're here on Monday, sell this, right? So it's come down, it's come up to the central, and the weekly target is right here as well. So between now and tomorrow's close, we could actually still hit that. Okay? Okay? So if the news continues, who knows, right? The other thing that could happen is we end up doing something like this, and we hit it next week. But that's too far out to worry about. La, la, la. Okay. So anyways, I got to go. They spent most of the yesterday with jackhammer. It was very, very loud, having a jackhammer in your basement. But only for hours. So that's probably going to kick on pretty soon. Honestly, I can't even hear. Someone tried to Skype me, and I'm like, I can't hear you. There's a jackhammer in my basement. Yeah, so I'll go. Okay, Katie. Yeah, it's just I'm focusing on other things. Yeah, I did, but then I can hear better, but then the jackhammer is still coming through the mic, right? So anyways, it's just funny. I don't think they need to do much more. But so anyways, I'll go while we still have quiet time. So anyways, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Kareem, if you want to stay a little bit, I'll tell you what's going on with that fund, because I think you probably want to be a part of it. And anyone else that has questions about that whole thing, just stay. I'll turn the mic off, and then I'll upload this to YouTube. Okay. Thanks, guys.